to the season finale of Real Reactions. I'm your host, Riley Rourke.
And I'm Gillian Anderson, and we're at the Bright Light screening of The Lighthouse right here at Emerson College.
The film follows two lighthouse keepers living on a mysterious and isolated island in New England in the 1890s.
This film was directed by Robert Eggers and stars Robert Pattinson and Willem Dafoe.
Well, let's get some audience reactions to this psychological thriller.
Tell me, what's a timberman want with being a wiki?
Just looking to earn a living, just like any man. Starting new.
On the run. Keeping secrets, are you?
No, sir.
Why just spill your beans?
So you guys just got out of a screening of The Lighthouse. What did you think?
It was insane.
Disturbing, provocative, moving.
Very weird movie.
Love this movie. It's actually the third time I've seen it.
Oh, well, it's an amazing picture. Yeah, it's really cool.
Definitely well filmed, and I loved, the way that it was filmed, but holy, am I allowed to swear? Holy shit. It was definitely a movie to see. It was, I would say, probably a little disturbing, but good movie.
I really enjoyed it. I mean, they were talking about the disorienting, aspect of it. There were parts where you didn't know, what was real or if it was a dream, anything like that.
Were there any scenes or moments that stood out to you in the movie?
Any part with the seagull, anytime you have an animal acting like that, and you didn't know what was gonna happen with it.
There's so many that stand out. One that really stands out to me is Robert Pattinson is chasing through the lighthouse, and he finds a body in the ground that turns out to be him, and he looks back, and then Willem Dafoe's character is standing looking down at him. It's mimicking that old symbolist painting, The Hypnotist. That's a really cool scene.
Yes. The scene where they killed the bird, and the scene where Willem Dafoe is changing from different characters at the end.
Probably the end scene, honestly, where it's laid out and there's birds picking at him.
The parts where it's just the characters are just drunk and screaming at each other because they're really funny.
Probably, I would agree, but specifically the one where they were drunk and singing sea shanties.
You know, the whole thing felt like one weird fever dream. It's like scenes ran into each other. It was everything melded together. No, I don't think I did have a particular favorite scene. I almost saw the whole movie as one big scene.
And so what did you think of William Dafoe and Robert Pattinson's performances?
Oh, they were amazing. The whole time I was thinking everyone hates on Robert Pattinson for being in Twilight, but he can act.
Both of them are awesome. Robert Pattinson gets a bad rap. Between that and High Life, they killed 2019. And Dafoe, legend, definitely.
Yeah, the performances were really great.
Oh yeah, that was an amazing performance. Really could tell that they are amazing actors. There was so much range and different, every single emotion is represented there.
For me, it was really surprising because I don't watch too many movies, but seeing William Dafoe go from a meme into a very serious actor, excellent.
They were really good. I've seen Willem Dafoe act in many films, and sort of when you go into a movie with him, you think oh, it's gonna be his usual thing, but he stood out as a totally different character in this. Same with Robert Pattinson. They're both really good in this film.
The performances did what they needed to do. They must have rehearsed many different styles to get to that point. It's a real testimony to the work of the director to make such a bold choice, to know that that's the right thing for the movie.
And what did you think of the style of the film?
Well, it's a really unique style because it draws heavily on very old horror movies. It almost feels a lot of the way it starts off you're watching old stock footage of lighthouse keepers before it goes into a story, so it's cool.
Oh, it was really cool. You don't really see films like that, so at first it was hard for me to get immersed.
It was really interesting. I really liked the choice of the 1:1 aspect ratio. I've never seen something like that before.
Yeah, it was definitely weird at the beginning, realizing that oh wait, the entire film's gonna be in black and white. Throughout the movie, you start to get into it, especially the funny moments really draw you into the movie, and you're oh yeah, this is actually a really good movie.
Robert Eggers killed it. Love the aspect ratio. Doesn't look like a lot of movies that you see these days, so super excited to watch.
I found it extremely immersive, the style in which it was filmed, as well as the sort of soundtrack choice with it definitely drew me in.
I thought it was artfully done, you know, so many films are shot more traditional ways and often just to kind of convey a sense of story. This, I think, went much deeper, where the cinematography really was trying to convey the subconscious of the characters.
Do you think they both deserve to be nominated for Oscars?
Yeah, absolutely. The accents alone, and then like cinematography, that wouldn't be them. But yeah, absolutely deserving.
Yeah.
Yeah. This was the first time I saw this movie, so yeah, I think they should have been.
Oh, absolutely. It was one of, by far, I think maybe the best film of last year, if not, yeah. I mean, it did win awards at like the Independent Spirit Awards, but yeah, it only was nominated for cinematography, which is a travesty.
Absolutely. I think it would have won the Oscar if Roger Deakins hadn't been nominated for kind of that epic master shot of 1917.
Yeah.
I think so many movies deserve to be nominated for an Oscar, especially over Joker, so.
Do you think that the film was more interesting because it seemed historically accurate?
Yes. The same with like The Witch. The way he goes with dialogue, it really transports you to, you know, whatever weird part of New England he wants to put you in.
You know, I think that there was a certain theatricality to it, but I think that kind of adds to heighten the film so that the audience can almost see it on a more metaphorical level. I think the craziness of the actors' performances and the set almost felt like a stage set. I think when you do that, it kind of allows people to slip out of reality and see things in a more symbolic way.
It's really interesting how like Robert Eggers, the director, is like so into studying dialogue of that time and stuff like that. Like he based it off of a lot of literature of the 19th century and like Herman Melville and stuff like that. So it's cool. Like it feels like at that time. Yeah.
Well, there were a few parts where like the accents and like the words they were using were like, I don't exactly know what this person's saying, but like it definitely feeds into the whole experience of the film.
Definitely was hard to understand the really older, like the character that William Dafoe played. It was definitely hard to understand, and I think that was definitely intended.
I pretty much agree, but as the movie went on, it was easier for me to understand.
How long have we been on this rock? 5 weeks? 2 days? Help me to recollect.
Audience members seem to really love the performance in this film.
And they weren't even nominated in the Best Actor or Best Supporting Actor categories at the Oscars.
It might be considered a snub if you ask me.
I agree. Well, thank you guys for tuning in to this last episode for this semester of Real Reactions. We'll catch you next year. And although our reactions may be a little ridiculous
and a little bit racy,
they're always real.
In New England in the 1890s. Or do you want me to start again?